I'll be reading from 1 Samuel chapter 15, I'm going to be reading from verse 17. And Samuel said, "Though you are little in your own eyes, are you not the head of the tribes of Israel? The Lord anointed you king over Israel. And the Lord sent you on a mission and said, go utterly destroy the sinners and the Amalekites, and fight against them until they are consumed. Why then did you not obey the voice of the Lord? Why did you swoop on the spoil and do what was evil in the sight of the Lord?" And Saul said to Samuel, "I have obeyed the voice of the Lord. I have gone on the mission on which the Lord sent me, and I have brought Agag, the king of the Amalek, and I have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoiled sheep and the oxen, the best things devoted to destruction and to sacrifice, in order to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal." And Samuel said, "As the Lord as great in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken better than fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of divination." So basically, we are seeing here that Saul was sent on a mission to destroy the Amalekites. He was sent on the mission to destroy everyone, but he decided to keep the king of the Amalekites. He destroyed all the others, but he spared the king Agag of the Amalekites. And he also decided to take the spoils, meaning the rams, the sheep, and also the oxen, and decided to sacrifice them to the Lord, right? So this is so interesting because Saul was doing this in order to please him. For example, for him to sacrifice the sheep and the oxen, he was doing it in the intention was to please God, right? The intention was to make God happy, that he even sacrificed this. But that was not the instruction of the Lord. That was not the instruction given to him by the Lord. And he also kept King Agag. He spared King Agag. So you can imagine that him as a king, seeing his fellow king being humiliated, it must have fed his ego. So now we are seeing that Saul disobeyed God by putting himself first, by putting his ego first, right? He disobeyed God in a bid again to please God by sacrificing those animals, which was something that was opposite to what God has instructed him. So this teaches us that as believers, you can give in church, you can give your last money in church, you can give your tithes and offerings, you can give to the poor, you can fast and pray for 40 nights. It's a type of sacrifice as well, right? You can do all those things, but then if you do not walk in obedience, then you're not doing anything. That is why when we remember what the Lord Jesus Christ told, he actually made, it was a parable. It was a story that, it is not even a story, it's a prediction. It's what is going to happen. That in the last days, someone will come to him and say, "Lord, I cast out devils in your name. I healed the sick." And he'll say, "Go away from me, you workers of iniquities." In another version, it says, "You evildoers." So now we are talking about people that did all those things, but then they were walking, they did not keep his word. They did not keep his word. So it is like building your house upon sand. When you doing all these works for the Lord, you making all these sacrifices for him, and yet your life is not yielded to him, it is like building your house on sand. That is why Christ said that those who do my will, those who obey my words, who keep my words, are like those who build their houses upon rocks, upon a rock. They'll never be shaken. Even when the wind comes, it will never deter them. But those who disobey him will be like those that are building their houses upon sand. When the wind comes, they'll be shaken, they'll be destroyed. So this shows that what is important to God is you keeping his word, is you walking in obedience in his word, nothing else. God places your obedience as a top priority for him, because it is in your obedience that you actually prove that you love him. Because remember what Christ said, if you love me, you will obey my commandments. So remember, friends, obedience is better than sacrifice.